Welcome back to another week of The Kitchen. We are excited to have you here. Two of your favorite chefs about to cook up some wild stories written by you. We're really excited to dive into. This episode we're calling Intoxicated Guests and Explicit Precessionals. More to come. You guys, if you want to submit your stories so we can read these on the podcast, we'll link that below. But without further ado, let's cook.
Living in a daydream, ooh, it's such a sweet thing. Life on the big screen, it's such a beautiful scene, yeah.
Hello, Jacob.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
How are we all doing?
Well, we, as in me, I guess. I'm great. Yeah. Doing good.
I wish we could live stream these podcasts so we can like read a chat while we're doing it. And that way I could be like a streamer and be like, "What's up, chat?
What's up, chat? How we doing?
How we doing today, chat? Thanks for the gifts."
That'd be fun. I'm also just very nervous of what the comments would be. And yeah, I just feel like they'd be unhinged.
We should do a live chat. Nathan and I have been toying with the idea of doing a live stream podcast episode for YouTube where we play Smash Brothers.
And
or how
we
funny.
just
Have you seen those actors roundtables, Nathan?
Yeah.
What if we get like a really cool roundtable setup, bunch of cameras, and do like a roundtable blackjack podcast episode where we're like talking to Dallin and Sam the entire time?
Man, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do that like tonight, around the blackjack table.
Oh, yeah. Speaking
of which, the fog machine. Is that a business expense?
No.
Come on. What if we use it for our tutorials or something? I think I'll just get a little $40 one. I do miss the one we had at Full-Time Filmmaker, the Look Solutions haze machine.
Yeah, that was nice.
$1,500 though. $1,500.
Well, what's
for
Parker
fog
doing with it?
I messaged on one of his Facebook things when he was selling his Sony gear. I said, "How much for the unlisted Look Solutions haze machine?" And he didn't respond.
He's probably been busy.
Don't think he even read.
Reach out to him again. Persistence is key.
Hey, remember how you gave us the drone? Can you give can you give us the fog
Daddy
machine?
Warbucks, could you pass along some more cash?
2 years
for your
later,
two favorite wedding videographers.
Videographers.
You guys,
well, should we just hop into it, or do you?
I would love to. I'm really excited. We're doing another written by you episode. Just freaking loving these recently. The more we do these, the more we get these long submissions, and I just love it. I love that you guys are taking time to write these hilarious stories. So
those are hilarious.
Yeah, we got some good stories. Titled TBD. Some bridezillas, some groomzillas, and then a awkward moment story. So should be fun. Nathan, do you want to start off or want me to start off?
I'll start it off.
I see some hard language and I would like you to read it.
I'll default that to you. How about we just do that? Like a little popcorn.
It's okay.
I'm not seeing any language in here. Are we reading the same
sentence. One? Yeah. Awkward moments?
Yeah.
The big one?
Yeah. I'll just replace it with some incredibly PG language.
That's so boring. It's fine. Go for it.
All right,
take it away.
This one is from a videographer. Awkward moments.
Okay.
I've got a good feeling that we'll be able to name the episode off of this story.
Okay.
All right. Hunker in. This is a doozy. We got 4 paragraphs.
Appreciate
this wedding. Well, hopefully it's got good punctuation. This wedding was at the groom's family's home on several acres of land in the middle of the country. Wow. Beautiful opening sentence.
Oh, I would love to live there.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
my
structure
dream
of the
is to have a mansion of acreage in either Bentonville, Arkansas, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, or somewhere in Montana.
Good old Bentonville, Wright's Barbecue. Yeah, no, beautiful.
To live in Beaver, Utah,
by the creamery. Anyway, okay. Should I start over?
Start over. Sorry,
we've probably already
carried
lost
away in my own
the attention. Okay. This wedding was at the groom's family home on several acres of land in the middle of the country. The day started off very chaotic and rushed.
Classic.
The bride was crying. Classic. The bride was crying and having a mini breakdown while she was getting ready. They didn't do a first look, so maybe it was just the nerves. The photographer was her maid of honor. All
First
right,
mistake.
we'll have to talk about that one later.
Ooh.
The photographer was her maid of honor. During the ceremony, she had her camera around her neck and was taking photos while she was standing next to the bride.
Worst
The
angle, by the way.
photographer's husband, her second shooter, was extremely quiet and had clearly never taken the reins of a wedding day, so I ended up leading most of the day, which was not a big deal, just different as a videographer.
Proud of you.
Okay. After the ceremony and portraits, the couple and the bridal party took the photographer and I on their four-wheeler, or should I say in Utah, four-wheeler, up a hill on the property where the couple's first dog was buried. Thank you for that added detail. Away from the guests and started taking shots and smoking blunts. Goodness gracious, dude. Why
Wait,
is
if
everything
this
about
story,
drugs?
I'm sorry, if this story doesn't somehow relate to that dead dog, why is that detail in there?
Dude, I don't know, but that was it was in parentheses, so it felt like it was
a
important.
dog gonna rise from the dead? Like, why is this dog in the story?
No, it was they took us on their four-wheeler up a hill on the property, open parenthesis, where the couple's first dog was buried, close parenthesis. So I hope it is important, but it's looking like it's not because they say away from the guests, they started taking shots and smoking blunts, open parenthesis in front of us, close parenthesis. I appreciate the parentheses. Keep in mind, marijuana was very much illegal at this point, kind of like cocaine.
Devil's lettuce.
The devil's sugar. I filmed about 3 hours of dancing footage. That's a doozy. And when my time was up and I went to say goodbye, the bride had changed into a flannel and yoga pants at this point, and she said, "Oh, wow, you're still here." They were both still very intoxicated.
Always disheartening.
Oh, I paid you for this? Okay. They were both still very intoxicated, and there was no life behind those eyes, LOL.
Because they're mellow, bro.
Overall, the wedding was a bit of a shiz show, but the couple was super sweet and left me awesome reviews.
A lot to unpack here,
Yeah.
but not also that much. The dead dog,
No.
sad detail that really made me think the story's going somewhere else. Like somehow that the remains came out or something.
Like it was in an urn or something.
Marijuana.
It was illegal at this point. Take it at that. This is probably, when was middle of the country? When was marijuana made legal in the middle of the country? I feel like it's been legal for a while.
I think there's like a lot of things that happened that day that just were kind of like, what is going on at a wedding? Like,
I'm just
because this
gonna
is the
assume
same
this-
story about where the photographer was the maid of honor. So there's a lot going on here.
I'm
We'll
just going
talk
to
about-
assume this is in Iowa. Okay, just shot in the dark. February 2023. Is that really?
I think I was one of the last states. It's okay.
Okay. All right.
We've said this before. Never get hired to be a photographer and a bridesmaid. Just pick one, especially for the maid of honor, where your job is to really be there for the bride. You can't do that if you're taking photos all day. Because I bet the bride wasn't very happy with the photos she got.
Yeah.
Unless the second shooter just killed it, which he might have.
It's also just a funny image in my head to see the bride and then the maid of honor with just a big old DSLR right around
Who's
her,
probably
her
holding the
neck.
bride's bouquet during the ceremony. By the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Oh, wow,
hoping
you're
for
still
something
here.
about the dog. Oh, wow, you're still here. 3 hours of dancing footage.
I would have been like,
That hurts.
I could have left.
I mean, we've done weddings before where it says like 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. dancing. And you
Yeah.
and I would just look at each other and we just know it's going to be a long night and that we're going to be done by 8:30. But we have to stay there for another 2.5 hours because you
Yeah.
just don't need that much dancing footage.
Yeah, but again, like, it's not our job to be like the couple's paying us to be there for X amount of hours, and they chose the
there.
hours they wanted you to arrive and leave. So it's like, yeah, that's the job,
Yeah,
But I'm
you're
also
there.
like not gonna overshoot if it's just like a lot of more of the same, because then it makes my editor have to work harder, which makes it more expensive to edit. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
yeah.
I'm still very intentional, but I'm that way throughout the day anyway.
Right.
And there are some songs I'm just like, I'm just not going to film this, like the chicken dance or
The
songs
shoe
like,
game.
you're not going to want to remember this. Trust me.
Yeah.
Do them a favor.
Just don't film it.
All right. Next up is a Groomzilla story from a videographer.
Ooh, we like
The groom and groomsmen became absolutely plastered while they were getting ready. The groom was swaying and slurring his words during the ceremony. During their grand entrance, he fell down the stairs. I did edit that part out, and the bride thanked me for it. It was so embarrassing. Definitely would have delivered a reel of him not edited out. But that's just me being
taking
toxic.
a good tumble. Yeah, take a good tumble down the
Remember this?
stairs.
Yeah. That's so awkward. Again, like we said before, like just wait. Like wait until after the ceremony at the least. Like wait until cocktail hour. Which is when you should start drinking, right? That's kind of why cocktail hour is a thing. That's like signifies the important stuff's done. Let's
The beginning
drink
of the
and
party.
Yeah.
People love their liquor, though.
Love the liquor.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say about that
what
one.
is this? What is rum?
I'm up to this point where I just have no idea what to say about these drugs and liquor
picture
things. I just don't
rum
know. What is rum?
In a barrel on a ship.
I just think Captain Jack Sparrow. That's all I think.
Why is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone?
We have
what
an
is
update
rum?
on Landon's cocaine. I said, have you ever done cocaine? He says, what haven't I done, Jacob? Classic Landon. Never know what he's trying to say.
No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what rum is. Don't know what cocaine does.
I don't know what liquor and rum and vodka have in common or don't.
What
I know.
Here's another question for you. I feel like I overheard a conversation, or maybe it was like a commercial or something like that explained the answer to me, but I've already forgot it. Why are they called spirits? What are spirits?
I don't know. That's like hundreds of years old though.
Is it some like Indian tradition that has, I don't know, like what are spirits, and why are they called
Defines
spirits?
a spirit as a strong distilled liquor such as brandy, whiskey, gin, or rum.
So you're saying if we did drink, we would drink spirits
I guess.
at the blackjack nights.
It comes from Latin to breathe or something.
Oh, so it doesn't have anything to do with like spirits.
The origins of the word spirit are Latin. Spiritus means breath and refers to both respiration and the wind. Eventually, the word came to refer to a person's character or disposition. Then, in the Middle Ages, the word started being used to describe both the supernatural and the divine. So, before it was about the supernatural and divine, it was more about like your state of being. And if you were spirited, it means you were like intoxicated.
Wow, fascinating.
Crazy.
Fascinating. Yeah,
Fascinating.
crazy.
Anyway, onward.
Onward we go. Is it you? It's you. Or is it me?
You.
Me. All right. This is a bridezilla from a videographer. I had this amazing couple. We had multiple meetings together to get to know each other, and so I could get to know what they wanted in their video. Among the usual requests, the bride said to me, caps, no flashes in my wedding video. I said I can attempt to make it work.
Who does she think she is? That entitled little...
Well, and why is she? Yeah, it seems like they're talking
right.
to the
It's
wrong
her video.
person.
She's every right.
Yeah, but it seems like she should be telling this to the photographer. Okay, I said I can attempt to make it work, and I'll discuss it with the photographer to see if it's something we can arrange. The day of the wedding, the photographer uses flashes, and at that point, it was too late to turn back. I notified the bride the day after, and she said I was at fault for not cutting the flashes out of the video. However, the photographer used flashes like a strobe light, so cutting the flashes out would mean key moments wouldn't be usable.
Guys, I swear we read this story before.
I think we did. No, I'm like
I remember
99% sure we did.
I remember when she said, I'll discuss with the photographer to see if it's something we can arrange.
I remember that part too.
What was our verdict? And sorry if we haven't read this before, but I swear we have.
It's going to be embarrassing if we
You just
have
communicate-
read it before and we give a different
I think, yeah, because our
verdict.
verdict was, you tell the bride, not my problem. You have to talk to the photographer about that.
Tell it to the photographer, right?
I can't
that was our
tell a
verdict.
vendor how to do their job. Right.
Right.
Or what if,
And,
Nathan? Hold up, Nathan. What if this story was submitted twice from different people? Once from the
One
DJ
from the
or photographer,
photographer.
and then one from the videographer.
Man, DJ Tipsy is coming back from the grave to get us.
DJ Tipsy.
Still hasn't given us
I think
a
we'll
one-star
skip
review.
that one. I really think we read that before.
I think we did it. I think we did.
And I bet our podcast people will remember it more than we will.
Yeah. Skip that one.
All right. Bridezillas from a videographer. Another Bridezilla.
Ooh.
This was a middle of nowhere country barn wedding a couple of years ago. The ceremony was on the groom's family's farm outside with the guests sitting on hay bales. I'm picturing Dwight's wedding from The Office. As the
Speaking
bride
German.
walked down the aisle, apparently the DJ played the wrong version of the song she had chosen. But the guests, of course, didn't know any better. I found out later as I was editing the audio from the groom's mic and heard the bride say, he played the N-word version with a hard R. I couldn't look out of the same. Well,
What
played,
song were they listening to?
something in Paris.
No, but it was a middle,
As she walks down the aisle. Dun, dun,
middle
dun, dun.
of no dun, dun,
Dun,
middle of nowhere country barn. So I'm thinking country music.
Is country music pretty
I can't think
that
of a,
racist?
I can't think of a hard R country song.
I would love to know what song this is and why you chose it for your wedding.
Yeah. I also would love to know
That's
that.
crazy. Hard
You used
R.
the wrong version.
Also with the hard R, like what is this, like an old song? Jeez. That's
Holy
horrible.
moly.
That is horrible.
He played the N-word version with the
I just
I
I'm not like
couldn't
making
look
fun
at
of it, but I just hope that like there's a family in the audience who just like hears it and they're just like, did that just say?
Did that just say what I thought it did?
And like everyone's like looking at each other like, did we just hear? Before the bride even reaches the groom, everyone's just like canceling the wedding
Everyone's in pandemonium.
on their phone, clipping it in 4K. Oh, it'd be so funny. Deserve.
Yeah, what song?
Also, how
wanna know a
horrified would you be if you, whatever word, but you chose a song with explicitives and you, wait, how's that word? Expletives?
Expletives?
Explicit.
No, expletives.
But a song's explicit, but it has
Explicit.
expletives.
Expletives, yes. Different emphasis on
But it's
syllables.
explicit.
But it's explicit, yeah.
So how would you?
Expletive.
Okay. So how would you feel if a song had bad words, and you chose the clean version and it played the wrong version?
Well, my wife and I, we did choose an explicit song for when we walked down the aisle after getting married. I think you played the
Trashy
right
couple.
songs. But it was hype. It was hype. But we chose it at a time where it was going to be loud and poppers were going off. And so even if he did choose the wrong version, no one noticed. No one noticed.
I
It was
don't
Good
remember
Life
that.
by T.
I just
by,
remember
it was
wiping my
Good
tears
Life
in
by
that moment.
Kanye. I would feel bad. Just pretend I didn't hear it though. That's a hard word not to hear.
It is a hard word not to hear. Yeah.
Just
bummer.
middle of the aisle.
Gosh, as
Everyone
as
just grimaces.
the officiant.
Ooh.
And who takes this, or who gives away this woman?
Everyone's just dead quiet.
Not
Yeah,
making
that-
fun of
that
it. I
sounds
think that's
rough.
horrible. I just,
is
it's
terrible.
such an awkward moment. I wouldn't put it in the Bridezilla category either. I put that in an awkward moments category.
Or
But
just
then I guess like
bad-
Bridezilla, if like she intentionally supports, I don't know.
or I don't think you're a bad person if you listen to songs that have explicit lyrics. I don't think she's a bridezilla. I don't understand why the editor or whoever submitted this was so put off by her after hearing that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. If anything, I'll just put this under like a crappy vendor story. Like the DJ just didn't do their due diligence
Yeah.
beforehand and played the wrong
Maybe
song.
the DJ was a racist or being
Maybe.
just trying to sabotage someone's wedding day.
Middle of the country.
Honest mistake though. I didn't know
Probably.
they did clean music anymore. I feel like I haven't heard clean songs in a while.
Who?
Like just the industry in general. Like I just feel like I feel like I always used to hear like the clean version on the radio and stuff, and like on Spotify, but I just never hear it. Maybe it's
There's
just
a
my
lot of explicit
algorithms.
songs. Yeah, most of my songs are actually explicit. Sadly enough.
Yeah, you remind me of that Monsters University, that scene when the mom like drops off the kids and then she closes the door and you hear just like heavy metal coming through her car and she's just like jamming out to it. That's
great
you, just a
moment.
sweet guy, and then doors closed, just screamo.
I like a good expletive.
Interesting story.
Yeah. Well, it's only been 20 minutes, Jake. Do we have time to kill?
We have a few minutes. What's in your mind, Nathan?
No, nothing. Let's
do you,
see where this goes.
What do you wanna vent about this time?
I saw a reel the other day, and it was fascinating, and I fully agreed with this woman. It was a guy on the subway, and he just sat next to her, and he said, "What's your take?" And she's like, "What?" He said, "What's your take?" And she just understood exactly what he was saying. She took the microphone, and she went off on tipping, the tipping culture in the United States. And it was the best take I think I've ever heard. And it was just well thought out. It was
Summarize it for
beautiful. Basically, without skipping a beat, she said, "I will never tip at a self-serve restaurant. The way that the United States is going, most restaurants are becoming self-serve, and I will flip that iPad around faster than anyone you've ever seen. The second
Wait.
you flip it around,
What's
I
a
will hit
self-serve?
zero." Just like, you go up to the counter and it's like, "Hey, I want this," or like you walk through and you just picture, one of these restaurants where you just, where like, "Do you want rice?" And they scoop it on. You just kind of like, you tell them what you want and they just like scoop it onto there.
It's not self-serve though, is it?
Or like
By
a self-serve yogurt. Okay. Like if you go to a froyo place,
you
you
make your own.
do, and then they ask for a tip.
And they just check you out.
Right. And I agree. Like if it's a self-serve, even in places that like a Chipotle, they just like ask me if you want corn or cheese or whatever, like give me the spoon, I'll serve myself, I just, and I agreed with her take.
Yeah. I do it. It's
Tipping,
gotten out of hand.
tipping's just gotten way out of hand in the United States.
Especially
And
when it starts at like some outrageous number, like 30% or 25. It's just like, whoa.
Well, because I was
You
always
made me a
raised.
soda.
Yeah, I know. I was always raised. My dad always told me like 15% is like the base. Like that, just always tip at least 15%. If you want to go more, sure, but like less, that's a little ball on it. But 15% is good. Are you Googling like, is that baseline? But no, but now the lowest I really ever see is like 18%. And I even noticed that it's really interesting to me when they flip the iPad around, there's usually like that little, the blue squares, and it says, "How much would you like to tip?" And it has 3 squares. On the left, they now put the biggest tip. They put 25%, 22%, and then like 18. Whereas it used to be the other way around. It used to be just like reading left to right, low to high. But it was just like a little, they realized that people just click on the left option. So they hit 25% tip. And that's outrageous to me.
Yeah.
For something that like they scoop my ice cream. I'm like,
Per Google,
give me the scooper.
2024, 15 to 20% is courteous, common consensus, but any amount less than 20 is considered a bad tip.
So it says 15 to 20% is courteous, but anything less than 20 is a bad
Sounds
tip.
like inflation affects everything except for wages. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
20% is minimum. But like even then, I'm just like, yeah, but like if I know you're being paid a fair wage to do your job, what am I tipping you for? That's my big question. I understand like at a nice restaurant or restaurants when the waiters are coming and checking on us, filling our waters, waiting on us, making sure our food's good, taking it back, giving us more. Like always, like it's about like you're tipping them for the experience they gave you. But when someone's just like some like low life teenager is just sitting there, no eye contact, doesn't do anything for you, kind of mumbles through their mask the entire time, and then like asks for a 25% tip for like literally giving you the worst experience and making your meal somewhat incorrectly, I'm just like, not a chance.
Yeah, no.
Like the Chipotle
Zero.
by our place is the absolute worst Chipotle I've ever been to my entire life. It's just the most low quality, crappy food, customer service. I hate all those kids, and I always just smash the other, and then I smash the 0 button every single time the tip comes around. And I look at them in the eye while I do it.
Fair, valid, fair.
But then, like sometimes, like what I like about when you get over the guilt of like not tipping, what I like is when somebody impresses you at fast food, and you're like, I'm gonna tip them.
Yeah,
Because like they
absolutely.
impress you. Usually when you're at
Absolutely.
Chick-fil-A, you're like, wow, just made my day.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just
Here's an
think
extra
people
18%.
they should pay their employees enough so that, you know, we aren't paying their salary for them. And there are companies that do that. They'll pay them below minimum average, and then they just kind of like they put all the tips into a jar and just kind of like redistribute it to people so they meet minimum wage.
Yeah.
And that's just crooked. That's messed up to me.
Yep.
We shouldn't have to be doing that.
No, on the flight home from Florida, I had like a lot of time to kill, so I went to this like pub, and I got myself a Philly cheesesteak.
Got some cocaine.
It was on St. Patrick's Day, and it was crazy busy. They were running out of bread. Like this and the only seat available was at the bar. So I was at the bar. This bartender was just running back and forth. He just looked like a stress case, and he would just make it like. But every time he would approach someone, he'd be like, "How you doing, sir?" And he would remember their names.
Yeah.
And I got grilled Philly cheesesteak, and the steak sucked. Like it was just so bad. I think I took 2 bites. I was like, done with this. So naturally, I do what I always do, and I ask for it to go, and I throw it away later.
And then you throw it away. Yeah. Disgusts
But
me.
it was so bad, but this guy was just working his butt off, and he didn't cook the food, but he was doing his best. So it felt good to like just I tipped 0 on my card, but then I just left him a $20 bill because I just had cash on me, and it felt. Girl math, it felt
good.
free. And it was just like,
free.
I was like, and like he's just working his butt off. He earns it. Like he deserves this tip. He's doing more than anybody I've seen like in these situations. And that felt so good because I'm like, I don't usually tip, but he earned it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think if we
I
raise
think-
the standards of what deserves a tip in our culture again, people won't be so upset about tip culture.
I agree. And yeah, in Europe, you never tip, right?
No, that's why they love
Italy?
Americans, because we just tip by
Yeah,
default.
we just tip. I think I will always, I don't know why I preface that with, I think I definitely will. I'll always tip someone who just never has to write down your order. They just look around the table and they're so good. They just remember your orders and they deliver it perfectly.
What if
You
they
get
it
exactly
wrong?
what you asked for. If they get it wrong, I'll still give a tip because if it was in the ballpark, if it was even remotely in the ballpark, okay, if I asked for a cheeseburger, hold the tomato, and they gave me a tomato, I'll be like, okay. Like,
Then you're deathly allergic to tomatoes, and then you're in the hospital.
if it puts me in the hospital, then no tip. That's a no. Well, no, that's hard because if it is one of these places where you pay before you eat, and then you go to the hospital, they got the tip, which happened to me, by the way, at Cubby's. The good old cashew mayo. Yeah, Cubby's is terrible
Yeah,
now.
no, I'll that's valid. What is my take? You know what I can't stand is kids at weddings. Just kidding.
Kids at grocery stores.
I would like a take.
So
I don't.
I've just been thinking about that. Like, if that guy approached me and said, "What's your take?" I'm like, what would I say?
It's a good question. What is my
I know,
take?
and like, there's 2 categories. Are you going to keep it light, or is it going to be political? There's only 2 different,
I'm gonna have to think about
camps
that
here.
one. I'll save it for the next week's episode. I'm gonna think about what
Okay,
my take
good.
is.
Good. Some people like just keep it, innocent and just say pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. Like that's a pretty old take.
Yeah, all my takes really just have to deal with kids in public places
really do.
where they become a nuisance, especially movie theaters.
Kids really are your Achilles heel.
Really are. Well, Nathan, anything else that is you're just dying to get off your chest for our viewers? Anything that you feel like you've been harboring that you want to make peace with now?
That's your own version of the. Is there anything you want to? Is there anything you feel like you need to tell me? I don't. No, at the moment I don't.
Fair enough.
Not that I can think of.
I'm gonna be thinking a lot about what my take is. I really will.
Yeah, just imagine some random person walks up to you someday as you're walking into the grocery store and says, "What's your take?"
You know what I think I'd
You got to
say?
be prepared. What?
Never mind.
Is it political?
Well, it's just our country isn't as divided as the media makes it out to be.
Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's stupid.
I think... I don't know. That's my
I
take.
think media. Yeah, I think media.
I think
is
we
just-
all.
It
I think
needs
we're
to
all a
go.
lot closer in line than we think, and I think even in the wedding industry, man, like I think the minorities who there are some really loud people. I'm not saying minorities in the world. I'm like groups of people. I'm saying like
Yeah.
it's usually just like these few loud people who make you feel like the whole industry is divisive, and it's just like but. We're not really.
It's
like,
not that.
We can all,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I like finding common ground.
Same.
There are some things I will never find common ground with. For example, children at weddings.
Kids at weddings.
Unless, anyway. All right, that's all I got.
unless.
Short
Let's-
episode,
let's
you
wrap
guys.
it up.
Submit your stories below. Love hearing from you guys. It's so freaking funny. You guys have
It's a
some
good
wild
time.
stories. I wish so badly we could tell you our stories. But
I
for
wish.
obvious reasons. Maybe one day, Nathan, we'll have like a episode where like we pre-record or like one of us will be like gone. Oh, now I can't. Oh, no, I'm already saying.
One
And
of
like
us
you'll
is
call
dead.
in like
Is
an
that what you
anonymous
meant?
caller with like a voice changer. But now I just gave it away, so now everybody knows.
Yeah. No, if we ever just completely leave the wedding space, if we ever,
Yeah.
one could say, run away from the wedding space. Oh,
Nice.
then our last episode will be that.
Also, you guys had this thought. For those who actually listen through, like just me and Nate, kind of wondering what to talk about towards the end of these podcasts. For those who actually stick around, is there somebody you want to have? Is there someone you would like us to have on the podcast? Because we have this idea that instead of bringing people on the podcast and like talking about the generic, like, so like, what do you teach and what do you learn and what's your niche? We just have them read these stories. Like imagine some of these luxury filmmakers reading about cocaine and poopy dresses.
I would love it. I would love it. Just
I want
break
just
character.
Just getting them to break character.
We're just the jokers.
My number one goal is to have Lindsay and Cherish on here because Cherish just laughs at everything, and I just think it's so funny.
Let's give her a cocaine story, please.
That'd be so good. All right, you guys, drop your comments, questions below, fill out the forms, submit your stories,
Stories.
and we will catch you in the next one.